This is Transforce96 here with another video review. This time we have from the Marvel Legends the Ultimate Vulture from the Spider-Man and Vulture 2-pack, which is a Walmart exclusive. Now, even though this figure does come in a 2-pack, I do not have the second figure. I chose to just buy this figure. I bought him on eBay for $26. I'd rather just get Vulture rather than the 2-pack and spend with tax like $44. Just because I had no interest in that Spider-Man. I have enough Spider-Man figures, and I'm going to get some more because there are so many more coming out. So really had no interest in Spider-Man, but definitely needed Vulture, which is why I did seek out this figure. So going over the actual figure, this is very cool. I am very happy that they did a comic Vulture figure. Personally, I would have probably preferred just his classic look, considering I love to complete like the classic Sinister Six figures. You know, they've made a few, so it would be nice just to kind of complete them. However, it is, beggars can't be choosers, so I am very happy that we're getting a comic Vulture, even though if it's, not the one that I perfectly prefer. But overall, he's looking very cool. A lot of this figure is new, which I definitely love, and maintains a nice amount of articulation. First of all, you get two head sculpts. One is this helmet, which I think looks awesome. Now, the helmet, I've really only seen this helmet like on, I haven't watched the show, but I've seen stills of the show of like the animated Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. So I don't know if this helmet is strictly from that and they gave it to you here just to kind of represent that, or if this does have some sort of bearing in the comics. If you guys know, please let me know. I'd definitely be very interested, because I've seen this costume in the comics, of course. However, it always just has the regular Adrian Toomes head sculpt. So, this helmet, it does confuse me a bit, but I actually really like the helmet. I think that I prefer the helmet over just his head sculpt. I think it looks very cool, very aggressive. I like the beak that's been formed. I think that's pretty interesting. And the red eyes are very menacing and large, which look very cool. I definitely like it quite a bit. His wings are very nice. They look very cool. I absolutely love it. This would be nice for an Archangel figure. If they ever plan on doing him in the future, they probably just reuse these wings because these look pretty perfect. But overall, I do like them. I like the green that they chose to go with. Although it has like a glossy look to it, which I do think is nice, but it's not as glossy as the actual suit. The silver on the wings looks wonderful, though. They could have easily messed that up and did more of a gray, but no, they did a nice silver, which looks very cool. And it's very clean. The way that it folds into the backpack looks very nice. Like, it doesn't look like there's a piece that's like sticking out or anything like that. It just looks very flush, which I think is awesome. Very happy with that. And you can, if you want, take these wings off. This piece comes off, then you can take the wings off. You can just put this right back on so that there's no holes or anything. So I definitely like that. It's a very seamless transition with the wings, which is very cool. His kind of collar piece is not fur anymore, but it still maintains the look of a collar, which I think is a nice, kind of a way to update it. Although I much prefer his Spider-Man Homecoming, the way that they've updated it there. His body is very thin. The body over here, you do have the lines in it, similar to the lines that he has in his classic costume. You have a little bit of these little side pieces here with the little bolts, which I think look very cool. As far as I'm aware, the torso is completely new. The arms, I think that they're new, especially with these kind of like sharp pieces down here. I think that is new as well. The hands, I think, are reused from the Superior Venom. I forgot to take a look before I started this, but they might be reused from that figure. But overall, they're very cool, and I love how aggressive they are. There's nothing worse than getting a cool figure with some plain hands. These are some nice hands that that really work well with poses with this guy. The legs are reused. These are kind of like your standard, very thin legs that are packaged with many, Spider-Man figures. But overall, they do look excellent. They're very nice. Changing out his head sculpt, very easy, just on a ball joint. You do have the helmet as well as Adrian Toomes. I think this looks very nice. He doesn't look particularly old here. He looks rather young, but it does look, very similar to how he looks in the comics. Overall, I think it's very nice. I do like the fact that he's smiling so large. I think that is very cool. Going over his articulation, it's quite excellent. He's got a ball jointed head on a hinge, so you can kind of have his head going forward if you want to give him a bit of a kind of hunched look if you wanted, or you can have it just kind of straight up. You can do that as well. But overall, the head articulation is wonderful. He has ball hinge shoulders on a butterfly joint, but it's an extremely small one, so it doesn't do much. Bicep swivel, double hinge elbows, hinge swivel wrist. All of them work very nicely. The ab crunch can go back. However, you do kind of have to force this back piece to fold up a bit, but it can go back that far, and it can go forward a very small amount. It really, like, practically can't go forward at all, which is super disappointing, especially with flying figures. You want to get a nice bend in there to do some nice stances in flight mode, but unfortunately, with that really crappy ab joint, it doesn't work. Swivel at the waist, ball joint hips, which can go up very far. Swivel at the bicep, double hinge double hinge knees, and then hinge pivoting ankles. The legs work wonderfully. I really do like these legs. They're always nice with Marvel Legends figures because they allow for maximum articulation. Overall, he looks quite great here. Let's get some size comparisons. So here's the Vulture with a comic Spider-Man figure. This is the smaller body, teenage body, Spider-Man from the Space Knight Venom wave. This Spider-Man I do prefer with this Vulture simply because this Vulture is very thin and somewhat small because he's so thin. So to have the small Spider-Man, I think is better just to have him be slightly bigger than Spider-Man. And then here he is with the movie Vulture. I like to see the helmet on this comics Vulture simply because it kind of is more reminiscent of the helmet from the movie, so I think that they kind of look neat together. But as you can see, the movie Vulture is much bigger than both of these characters. But overall, really do like the scale here, especially with that teenage body Spider-Man. So overall, I really do like this Ultimate Vulture figure. I think it's quite nice. I do love Spider-Man villains, so any more that I can get is well appreciated. He does look very cool if you kind of put him in a Ultimate Sinister Six pose with like the Ultimate Green Goblin, the Rhino, Sandman, Beetle, and then also even just using Iceman as an Ultimate Electro works so nicely. I have posted a picture of this on Instagram if you want to check it out, but they just kind of look very cool together as like an Ultimate Sinister Six group. Really do like this figure. Hope they do another Vulture in more classic costume somewhat soon, and I hope that they use these wings for an Archangel figure. I think that would be very cool as well. So overall, very nice figure. Very happy to get it, and let me know what you guys think about it. Thanks so much for watching.